All right, so today's video, we're watching a Plat 5 DPS on PC, and they're a Tracer one-trick. They only play Tracer. They say, I am a one-trick Tracer. I know she is a broken hero in high elo, which is true. But in Plat, I don't have, he's saying, our proper like mechanics or engagement timing, but I try. I one-trick Tracer Zen Doom, so I am on many avoid lists so much that the game gave me a notification. I love playing mechanics and timing-based heroes. Our tank was common, and 4 people were in comms too, so we locked in. Our tank needed sustain, so I told him not to worry. I will not draw any resources from the team and distract their DPS, who were pocketed long enough so they could trade for their tank, and in the process make them use as many cooldowns as possible. But I will try to survive. I was pulsing the hog on cooldown because that pig is unkillable. Get him low and secure that kill. Was I able to do the things that I envisioned? Did I get carried? By the way, the DPS on the other team were D-ranked masters, and the other DPS on my team was mad at me because I tracered the whole game. And I paraphrased the mad at me part, so clearly wonderful teammates. Okay, are we ready? Here we go. This is pretty good. We'll see, though. We'll see how you play as Tracer. Remember, you did make a lot of noise going there, just so you know. Yeah, the Widow's already locked in on you. So remember that. Be careful on button mashing, because, like, your recall is such an important usage of... Like, you just kind of use your recall. We got the Venomine. Got the Pharaoh. They're going to go for a pretty quick res. Dude, what? Am I? Okay. I need to pause very quickly. How was the res over there? Did I see that correctly? How was the Mercy able to res over there? What did I need to rewind very quickly. Okay, watch this. Look where the Pharaoh dies, right there. Now watch where the res is at.
Jog on, mate.
Dude, what? I don't even understand. But, like, look where, like, it has the res at. Dude, I don't even know how that works. Watch from the Mercy's point of view. Yeah, it's probably the right way to go about it. Let me see again. Sorry, this is a little side note from the Tracer gameplay. Okay, you're healing the Pharaoh. Okay, Pharaoh dies right there. And then the res is right there. Explain to me. Maybe they used the horizontal dash right as they died? I mean, I can look. I mean, maybe you're right, actually. But, like, that's not matching up with what we're seeing. Wow. That is not the feedback that you expect when you watch that. So they used the booster, but on everybody else's screen they didn't. And then they ended up being res there. But, like, the feedback from that, in my opinion, is not showing that on your screen. So how could you even predict that? What happened to being a Tracer one-trick? This is not Tracer. Yeah, this is the Tracer rework? Yeah, this doesn't seem like Tracer to me.
Lucky number 13.
You just got rolled. Yeah, Tracer's changed a lot here for being a Tracer one-trick, huh?
Let's get the payload going.
Yep, you hecked up that. Shoot the right click at your feet. That's how you do that. Oh, that queen had fun. Also, doesn't grab, like, pull people at a much wider range now, so it's harder to miss your grab? I'll still miss my grab. I mean, nice shots, but... By the way, for people, like, mentioning, like, ML having this name on, like, one of his support accounts, you can make your name whatever you want in Overwatch. That's why it's like that. So it's either someone who just, like... You know, likes watching ML, or they just... I knew that was coming. I didn't... Listen. I didn't think it was going to happen at a certain point, but of course it happened, right? Yeah, go back to Tracer. Nope. Hey, that's what they get for saying they were a Tracer one trick in the description. What's I'm saying? They said, oh, I'm a Tracer one trick. And then here we are. Also, I'm gonna be real with you. You're absolutely feeding on Bastion. I want you to understand something. If you're gonna switch off of Tracer and go Bastion, that has less survivability than like the other hero here, do you see what you're doing? You're like you're going in there thinking you have the survivability as Tracer as Bastion. Now, what's the problem with that? You don't have the survivability as Tracer as Bastion. You don't have the same cooldowns. So stop going in 1v5 expecting to like make like this amazing play for your team. If you do this, your teammates are not going to be happy about it because you're just constantly feeding. You're going in over and over again, and you don't want to do that. You need to like time your play a lot better than the way that you're playing it right now, at least in my opinion. Tracer? Okay, there you go. So you spent that whole time feeding on Bastion and back up on Tracer again. Wonderful. Okay. Well, you made it across. Okay, that was honestly, that was just a good sleep. Your cooldown usage was like okay, but like the sleep itself was like, I mean, honestly, you just got rolled. That's all I got for you on that one. At least your teammates won the team fight, so you get a little bit more like map awareness and like map control now. Like you can actually go and play the map a bit more. They do have walls up. Remember, walls are at 15 seconds, so usually you just look at the time, say 2, and then you're good there. So. Is he against the Plat Ana sleep god from a few videos ago? I don't think so, but you never know. You never know in these games. You might have some crossover. Their Widow's hitting shots. That's because walls are still up, but they're down now, but... Wait for it. You just got rolled. I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of what your problem on Tracer so far is you said you like cooldown based heroes. I'd recommend like finding ways to make your cooldown usage a bit better. Now, that can be minimizing your blinks to get to an area. That could be being a little bit more selfish with your recall, which in times will get you sent back to spawn, but like there's definitely a couple things you could fix. Remember, see all this downtime you have as Tracer? This is a problem. I love all that downtime just to go blink to somebody who gets one shot by a Hanzo. Feels good, man. Good target focus there, by the way. That was wonderful. Oh, good thing a Yari ultimate only lasts for 45 seconds. I was getting concerned there would be no follow-up in that ultimate. I was getting worried. You got the payload. I mean, they were going to lose that team fight to begin with. Good job getting them. Did recall at 100% again? Oh, that's what I'm trying to get him in the mindset. When I saw you throw that pulse bomb, I knew you were going to get somebody with that. Okay, yeah, your cooldown usage is tough. It comes down to this. And you wanted to talk about your Tracer gameplay. If you're going to use your recall as a blink rather than use it as like a really good resource, that's going to happen to you over and over again. So I really need you to like start to focus on timing your recall a lot better. Because like recall is like the most difficult thing to get out. Like look at this. Like you're recalling with 162 HP while bubbled. Now there's no guarantee that you were going to get bubbled there, so I can understand like that. It's almost like you go, oh, I took 1 damage. I must use my recall now. I took 1 damage, that's not good. So if you take 1 damage like that, like you're going to constantly end up doing absolutely nothing, and that's what we're seeing. You're just doing absolutely nothing. I really need you to stop just hitting recall to hit recall. And yes, this is going to lead to moments of you getting killed because you don't use your recall, but I really do believe that some of the best Tracers in the world not only have really good movement, but like it's their ability to understand when they can use their recall at the latest possible second and still end up with really good HP. So yeah, like someone said it's limit tested. Exactly. I talk about it sometimes. People are like, you always hear me say, and like there you go again, you don't have your recall, you can't like predict plays. People always say like, I forgot, oh, you're limit tested. I'll be like, hey, you got to be a playmaker at times because you can sit there, but if you end up not being a playmaker, you have to rely on your teammates so much, and they go, well, if I do this, what if they get me? And the thing is like you're not going to know how to make those plays if you don't try to at least make those plays. So I like to try to get people in the mindset of like, it's okay to try to be a playmaker at times, and as long as you're willing to learn from when you go for those playmaking, you'll find that you'll probably win more games because you're actually just like making it, like you're making plays, right? So it's okay to, like, go in there and not use your recall right away and see if you can maybe get an extra 5 shots in the Widow, which can result in a limb, and then recall out if your HP gets too low. Also, did I just see that correctly? Did that Hanzo randomly just Storm Arrow and hit you with a shot? I now need to see. I think that's what just happened, by the way. I'm pretty sure that they just randomly Storm Arrowed and one of those hit you. Let's watch. They did. That Storm Arrow right there hit the Tracer. By the way, the Tracer is right here. They didn't even know the Tracer was here, and the Tracer got hit by that. Drago, thanks for the free prize. Thank you, appreciate it. By the way, every time I play Hanzo, I try to get a Storm Arrow limb. Nothing happens. This Hanzo, like a Storm Arrow, like geometry one, this Hanzo randomly shoots this way, and it bounces off this wall and hits the Sombra. Isn't it one? I mean, hits the Widow. Isn't it one? I mean, the Tracer. I'm just naming off DPS heroes. Isn't it great? Just wait, you'll be fine. There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Your issue is like you are almost afraid that if they shoot one shot at you, you have to recall. Like right there, right there. By the way, and I know that's not the best example, but that's a good example of what I mean. They're grabbed in front of you. You sit there longer than normal, right? You get what I'm saying? You sit there longer than you normally would, and you get good follow-up, and then you recall at a good time. That was wonderfully played. You see that? You're allowing yourself to make a play. And that's important. Playmaking. It's a big part of Overwatch. Yeah, you just have so much downtime. Like, the way that I see you playing Tracer is that you're just waiting on something to happen, and then when you finally go for something, like, there we go, that was a good play. That recall was good. Wonderfully played there. That's playmaking. But you definitely play a little bit too scared at times, is what it feels like to me. Which, I mean, I get. Even when I play DPS, sometimes I do this too, and, like, it's just, like, eventually you have to just kind of, like, be a bit more aggressive. So. It's fine for now, I guess, in theory, because you don't want to push past the bridge. So we'll just kind of wait. There's nothing happening. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a second. Do you see what's happening here? All you did right there was give Widow free reign the whole time, and you're just sitting there shooting at a Widow the whole time. Do you see what's happening? You're giving free reign to their team. You're not doing anything. And then when your team actually needs you, they're already dead because you're not even, like, engaging them. This is where, as a Tracer player, if you really do want to play Tracer, you need to seriously find ways to, like, make a play for your team. And whether that's just going in there and going for, like, a quick, like, shot on the Widow and then you just, like, you recall back to your spot was, that's an aggressive playmaking play that also puts their Tracer on their Widow on alert, right? If their Widow's just untouched in their spawn the whole time and you don't have to do anything, like, that's going to be advantageous for them because you're not even having to do anything at that point. You get what I'm saying? Like, you just sitting there going, all right, well, I'm just having a good time. This is fine. And their Widow is just going to get a limb after a limb, and that's what happened. Now you're doing it, but, like, it's too late. And there you go, back to spawn. Like, this is, like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, that was way too long to finally go make a play, and then when you finally go make a play, it's way too late. Why didn't you do that when it was a 5v5? Why'd you have to wait till that was a 3v5? Dude, yeah, your problem is like, look at what you're doing. You're so afraid to make a play that you're trying to sneak up on a Widow while crouch, which just gives them so much opportunity to do something. Like, and this is where you're struggling at, is like it's almost like you're playing scared. And eventually, if you're going to play a hero like Tracer especially, you cannot play scared. Because if you want to just play like this passive playstyle, you might as well start learning casting. Tracer is about being a distraction. It's about using your cooldowns efficiently. If you want to just sit here and stand still and do nothing, then you might as well play casting. At that point. Did your Prime sub won't work? It's probably because, like, your Prime sub is probably up today. It's just a good reminder for people to check if their Prime sub's there. But two, it's... Wow, you're getting rolled. But on top of that, it's like, if you're just not going to make a play, you're just going to get rolled over and over again. That's why it doesn't work usually. Okay, good pulse bomb. Back again on this one, though. Why are you recalling? Why are you hitting the recall button there? There's no reason to. You're going up there, you have a Sojourn a half HP, you have an ability to get in the limb, and then you're like, oh, they looked at me, I have to recall. Do you see the problem that you're running into? It's like, you're going in there, and then you make one, you shoot at them twice, you get them to a good HP, you get a free limb happen, and you go, I got to recall, they looked at me. Like, if all I have to do is look at a Tracer to get them to recall, I would never have to worry about a Tracer in Ranked. Straight up. I would never have to worry about a Tracer in Ranked if that was the case. You think they did that to try and avoid the Widow? But, like, you can't... okay. You're saying, oh, they try to do it to avoid the Widow. But you can't sit there the whole time and then not make a play. Like, the Widow will look at you. A Widow is going to see you. A Sojourn is going to look at you. This will happen. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, one of their teammates is looking at me, I have to recall. Because you're never going to do anything if that's the case. And that's what I want to get them in the mindset of, like, is you spend most of the game just not giving yourself opportunity to follow up on a limb. So if you're ending your games going like 12 and 15, a lot of that also, it may not even be like a skill level at that point. It may just be like if you're too scared to make a play, then you're never going to make a play. And then the kill feed or the scoreboard won't align with anything because you're just doing nothing. All right, hide and seek again. Wall's still 305. So remember that. Track the walls. You're doing nothing. They know you're here. You're now crouching in a corner. You were recalling back to where they just saw you. Now you fell down. You have no cooldowns, and they also know you're there. Remember, they have walls up, too. You see? You're so reliant on waiting for something to happen that you're doing nothing. Wonderful play. Good job. There you go. I love that. You recalled right away, but I'm still... and here we go. You have no recall. You ran to them. Uh-oh. And you get hooked. Now, remember, what's the problem here? Okay, so step one, I actually like what you did. You went for the Widow. You went and one-clipped a Widow and then hit recall. Why are you hitting recall there? You got the limb. You have nothing else to do. If you want to go back to your team, use your blink. So you go, okay, that's cool. So what happens next? Well, let's talk about what happens next. Okay, you ready? You get rolled. Because you don't have recall up that you could have had instead of just sitting there and doing that. So, see that? Now, you would have survived that, probably gone out. Instead, you're going back from spawn because you decided to use recall on a one-clip on a Widow where nobody looked at you. There you go. Didn't hit recall. Now you have recall. Oh, I already know what's going to happen here. Nice. Good job. If you have the blinks, you don't need to spam your recall. Okay? So let me explain this, because I know somebody will say this. They'll be like, oh yeah, but they heard the Roadhog behind them. That is fine, because all you need to do at that point is hit your button. Hit your recall button. I mean, not your recall button. Hit your blink button to just get back to a safe spot. So if you don't do that, this is what's going to happen. So do you see the problem that you're consistently running into? You're like, oh yeah, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, but then like, you're just recalling out of situations that don't require recall. And that is a part of the problem that you're gonna run into consistently if you keep playing like that. And I'm trying to get you out of that habit, because I feel like it's a really good habit to get out of right now. Otherwise, you're gonna consistently get stuck in the exact same spot, and that's the problem you're gonna run into. Stop using your recall like you're just, yeah, someone's explained it like you're playing Somber. Yes. No, I rephrased that right after with the recall. Don't recall yet. Nice. Using your blinks to get out. Perfect. I love that. I love that. Nice. Not using recall yet. That was good. That sequence there. You're being annoying enough to cause issue on their backline. They have to look for you, and you still have a recall if they do actually have a good reaction to you. Okay. Didn't need to blink that necessarily. Just remember that. Okay, now you do not recall yet. Now you can recall. Okay, fine. The reason why you recall is because you took damage there. Now you're good. Now just wait. Don't overblink. Nice follow-up. Good hook. I mean, yeah. That was better, though. I actually, believe it or not, I actually like that sequence. That sequence there I was fine with. You got involved in the team fight. You hit shots. You were forced to follow up because you didn't have recall, because you had to use your recall, but it felt like you had to use your recall. Which is, in my opinion, I'd rather it be you have to use your recall, not I'm just going to spam my recall. And that's what I liked about that one. How many times am I going to see recall this video? That stick is fine. Yeah, that's fine. Good follow-up. There you go. There you go. Involved in the team fight, didn't spam recall. You know, it's okay. Is this a live VOD review? It is. Well, I'm not like watching them live and talking to them on Discord, but that is a series we're going to be doing soon. Where we're actually going to be in like, we're going to be on Discord while they stream their ranked game, or we're going to give them live feedback. So we're going to probably put out the application today for that. So if you're in bronze, make sure to look forward to that, or if you want to be involved in that. You know, I'm in a unique spot here where, like, I'm okay with you being in their backline there because at least you're trying to make a play. It's not ideal, but, like, I want you to see the pressure you put on their team. Like, your team is still in the team fight. You see what I'm saying? Okay, here we go. Don't recall. Just do what you're doing. This is good. You can recall in a second. Recall now. Perfect. Good rotation. You might get rolled here, but you're going to die in cart, which is a plus in a lost team fight. But they have to worry about you. They had to worry about you, and that's what I want to kind of put out there. Is like they need to at least worry about the tracer, not just sit there and be like, oh, they have a tracer that doesn't do anything. Pulse bomb now if you want to. I think you're probably gonna pulse bomb the hog based on what you've been doing, and you mentioned it. At least you made a friend on cart. That's nice, but yeah, I like this stuff. Putting pressure on their backline, not spamming cooldowns. You can recall that. That's okay. Nice. Getting in a limb. See that? You see what happens when you're involved in a team fight? Hey, got in the limb. But do you see what happens? Do you see the difference between being involved in a team fight and hiding behind a wall until you wait for your teammates to do something? Right? You've now given your teammates a chance. If your team touches this point, you win. All because you got a couple of limbs and you put pressure on their backline. Do you see the difference? Are you seeing that? Look at that. Good recall. Got them low. Involved in their backline. They have to worry about you. You're making plays. You're not relying on your teammates to go and make those plays. Your teammates are making plays, but you're a part of that. And there you go. Just like that. Do you see? So, just to kind of like refocus on this again, I want you to become more of a playmaker. You're starting to see me talk about that a little bit more in spectating and situations too. I want to see you become more of a playmaker. I want to see you more involved in team fights. Stop spamming your recall. If they look at you, it does not mean hit the recall button. Okay? If they look at you, it does not mean hit the recall button, okay? Remember that. So for you, be more of a playmaker, being more involved in your team fights, and you'll see good results. If you just hide behind walls and do nothing the whole game, you're not going to play that well. If your teammates play well, you're going to play well. But you have to remember that as you climb and as you improve, the only way to get better is to keep making those plays. And the more that you rely on your teammates to have to make those plays, the more frustrating it will become for you. And actually, that's kind of like, this is a little segue, but the reason why Tank runs into an issue right now in some ranks is because Tank is so reliant on everybody else doing something that it becomes frustrating because you can't do anything. As in, like, you have to wait on your teammates to make a play. And that's kind of like what you're doing on Tracer, where you're just limiting how much you make a play. And if you said that you were playing Tracer against me, just doing what you're doing, I'd be like, this is great. All I need to do is look at them and they recall. So stop doing that. Just, you know, be willing to make plays. Sometimes they're going to get you, but the really good Tracers to play against are the Tracers who are constantly involved. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't. Leave a comment. All of it helps. If you want to submit your own spectating, look in the description below. That's my Discord. That's where you would do that. Join if you haven't. We also record these live on stream. If you look below the webcam, you can see the Twitch chat right there. Stop by if you haven't. And with that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.